Greetings, members, one and all of the Salivation Nation. My gold price prediction for 2022. Let's explore. Indeed, just as I did not long ago with silver, I am now making a prediction for gold in 2022 in this video. And how seriously should you take my predictions for anything, much less precious metals? Well, not too seriously, because I'm not a financial advisor. I don't know the future. However, I do have a crystal ball, or at least one made of glass. Therefore, I feel just as qualified as anybody else in order to make a prediction on where gold is going to go in the coming year. Gold is a metal that certainly has proven itself time and time again as a store of value. And how do we measure that value? Well, for most of us, it's price. It's really all we have to go on. And it's the price that is designated in the precious metal markets. But we know its value transcends that price. This is why we buy it at different price levels. In fact, there are many of us who have bought gold when it is up $100 or down $50, because we understand that its value does transcend price. And we have to time those buys many times. This is why in some cases people make predictions on where it's going to go. And sometimes those predictions that are made, people base their prices or base their buying habits on where they think those predictions are going to go. That can be dangerous, because that essentially leads to a fear factor, if you will, of gold prices and buying habits. And we should not be driven out of fear in order to make our purchases, because in the end, no one really knows. I feel like to some extent I have a pulse on the markets. I watch the markets and what drives the prices here and there. But in the end, no one can really predict how it's going to move, because there's so much psychology in the markets. One thing that is definitely certain is that gold is driven by the fear in the markets. There's a lot of emotion at play in terms of gold and its price. And so that is why when you see these big banks or these so-called experts make price predictions, you have to wonder what the motivation is, and what is driving their big push to get a certain price level prediction out there. And that is the key. That is the issue here. Now, I make this video purely out of entertainment purposes, just for fun. I do not take my predictions seriously, because it's just a guess. Yea, though I feel it's an educated guess, a guess it still is. And in reality, my guess is as good as any expert out there, and your guess is as good as mine. And so I'm going to make a guess on where I think gold is going to go. But let's talk a little bit about where I went wrong last year, because I made a very bullish prediction on gold. Well, I say very bullish because I was essentially pushing the envelope, thinking that gold will retest its highs again. I thought that gold would hit $2,000 an ounce last year. It obviously did not. It had just come off of a high of $2,050, over $2,050. And I thought with all of what is going on in the world that we would re-see those levels again this year, because things weren't getting any better in many cases. But did not bear out to be true, even with inflation. So why am I still bullish for 2022? For much of the same reason why I was bullish in 2021. Because there's a lot of factors that are in play, and there's a lot of things that are going on in the economy, geopolitically and the like, that really it seems like there's only one way for gold to go. And although we have seen some volatility in the markets, and there's a lot of volatility in silver, but even some in gold, there is a certain level of confidence that we're going to see the economy continue to struggle and people are going to move towards gold and purchase gold. And that is what we have seen. We have seen larger demand for gold, just as we've seen for silver over the past year, because a lot of people know what is coming. And what is coming? What do we know is coming? Where can we make a prediction that is bona fide true? Well, that is that inflation will continue to be a problem, and the Federal Reserve is going to try their best to fight it with the tools that they have, and that could actually hurt the economy and drive gold prices up. What is that? Well, it's tapering, and it's raising interest rates. And there will be some level of that this year, guaranteed. How much of it they will do? People are guessing that they may raise rates 3 times and taper back to some extent. They've already started some of the tapering process, but they can raise rates more. And more likely gold is going to rise in those conditions. And so therefore, I think it's incumbent upon us to be wary of what's going on in the economy or be not wary, but aware of what's going on in the economy. And that is why more and more people are buying gold. Now, there's a chance that gold could go down, but I believe there's a greater chances this year for it to rise than to fall. That does not mean we won't see some pretty significant dips this year, especially as we see that first rate hike. I think there's a chance that there's some hope that it will work to stave off inflation or to rein it in, but I don't think it will. And most of us in the precious metals community don't think it will either. This is why we're buying gold. So therefore, with that, and as well as central banks continuing to accumulate gold at record levels, and private investors buying gold at record levels, and individuals culturally buying gold at record levels in India, I believe we're going to see this gold price rise to up to $1,900 an ounce. And and it's a little bit more of a cautious prediction for gold than it was when I made the prediction for gold last year, which was $2,000 an ounce. We have come closer this year, within $100, within $75, within $50. We're getting closer. It could very easily hit that again. And I'm going to make that safe prediction, and I'm going to I'm going to qualify it by saying that I think it'll get there. It may not stay there, but I think it will reach that level before pulling back. In other words, we may see it rise up to $1,900 an ounce in October, perhaps, and maybe pull back by the end of the year. But at least my prediction is a relatively safe one that will reach there before coming back. That's the same qualification that I gave to gold last year, thinking it would hit $2,000 an ounce again, at least at some point, before pulling back. So I'm having a little bit of a safer prediction here, but I am still bullish on gold. I do not think we're going to see it go down, as some had predicted, into the $1,500 or $1,600 range. But although we may test the low 1700s again before we see it rise, but that's kind of what my thoughts and feelings are for gold. So what are your thoughts? What do you think gold? Where do you think gold is going to go this year? And again, this is just somewhat of an educated guess, but I could certainly be wrong. Been wrong before, and I will be wrong again. Again, I don't know the future, but I have a crystal ball, or at least one that is made of glass. So those are the factors that come into play here when we make our fun price prediction video here. It is fun to kind of pontificate and guess where the price is going to go, and that's all it is. And I know there are some that don't like to make those predictions, and others that do. And my prediction is based merely on where I speculate the market to go and where the economy is going. We are pushing well past $30 trillion in debt now. And that happened over the course of just the past week. And as we continue to incur greater deficit spending and greater regulations and greater economic stress, not only here but around the world, that is going to bode well for gold, I believe, in the medium term and long term, definitely. And so just a matter of what's going to happen and the timing of it all. And this is one reason why I have really centered my focus on gold over the past 5 years, really. I've tried to accumulate more of this metal because I do feel that it is more stable of a form of wealth than even silver. And that is why I like it. It's treasured. Gold is treasured, folks. And some people say that is a strike against gold because, well, more of it is being accumulated and it's not being consumed like silver is. But I think that's very much because of the reason of that store of value, that if central banks hold more gold, then maybe we should as well. And if the central bank of central bankers says that this metal is on par and equal to cash, well, that means that it's more than likely a good idea to have it. Because what is it about this dollar bill? This dollar bill wraps itself around the idea of a currency that has proven itself time and time again because of what the Federal Reserve has done. It's proven itself to diminish in value. And so that diminishing value has a diminishing return, even though we have confidence in it in order to be recognized and for its liquidity. Liquidity is extremely important, and that is what the dollar is about. Its liquidity is that such that 60% of nations around the world use it in their transactions. And so it's not going to go away anytime soon. But we do know it's going to be reset. And we do know that during that reset, there's going to be the ESG, which is environmental, social, and governance. Those are scary terms when it comes to being able to be traced and tracked by any transactions that we have based off of the blockchain. So that's why gold is a way to protect yourself against that. Essentially, you're protecting yourself against a dollar and a controlling government, central planners who have been proven themselves to be, well, think they know it all, but really it's you and I, the people, who know much more than they do. We know best on how to govern our lives and how to take care of each other than any government does. This is why we hold gold. We hold gold because it is self-evident. And so therefore, I'm making a pretty bullish prediction for gold this year. I believe we're going to see it touch $1,900 by the end of the year, because I just don't trust the powers that be behind this dollar. And so I'm going to continue to hold gold. I'm going to continue to accumulate it. And I would encourage you as well, based off of your financial situation and where you think you can best position yourself to preserve your wealth with gold. So I hope you found this video insightful. Let me know what your thoughts are. Where do you think the price of gold will be by the end of 2022? I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch this video, and to encourage you to please rate, share this video, comment, and subscribe.